All right, so you're getting ready for this youth center manager interview,
Mhm.
and wow, what a chance to really make a difference, right? We've got those role catcher guides right here, the career guide and the interview guide. Think of this deep dive as your personal interview coach.
Yeah, exactly. And not just the questions themselves, right? We'll unpack what's really behind them. Like, what are they trying to figure out about you? Because remember, this isn't just like managing a building, it's about shaping young lives. They're looking for someone with passion and leadership skills, a commitment to inclusivity. Someone who can make the center a haven for every young person, for every single kid that walks through the doors.
Okay, I love that perspective.
Mhm.
And while those degrees and certifications are important, the role catcher guide makes a great point about soft skills. It really emphasizes social perceptiveness and active listening. Even negotiation, they're saying those are crucial for success in this role.
Yeah, it makes sense when you think about it. You're going to be interacting with all these young people, such a diverse group, each with their own unique background and challenges. So being able to understand their needs, really listen to what they're saying, and navigate those really complex situations with empathy. I mean, that's absolutely key.
So let's dive into those interview questions. I know they can be nerve-wracking, but think of them as opportunities
Yeah.
to really showcase your passion and experience. First up, a classic. What motivated you to pursue a career as a youth center manager? Now, I know it's tempting to give a generic answer, but how can we make it truly stand out?
Well, this is your chance to really connect, to forge a connection with the interviewer, go beyond the surface level stuff. Why this career path? What specifically gets you excited about working with these young people? Maybe it was a mentor who ignited your passion, or like a personal experience that solidified your commitment. I think a compelling story rooted in genuine emotion will leave a lasting impression.
I like that. A story with real heart makes you more memorable.
Hmm.
Now, I'm guessing they might follow up with something like, what are some of the biggest challenges you anticipate facing in this role?
Oh, absolutely. They want to see if you've really thought deeply about the position. You could acknowledge challenges like limited resources or dealing with those really difficult situations. But don't just stop there. You want to pivot to how you'd navigate them. Maybe you could mention your knack for creative problem solving or your experience in building partnerships to overcome those resource constraints.
Okay, so turn those challenges into a chance to highlight your strengths. I'm already seeing how much deeper we can go with these responses. Okay, next question. How would you ensure that the youth center provides a safe and inclusive environment for all young people?
Hmm. This question is all about showcasing your understanding of diversity and inclusion. It's about more than just saying you value it. You need to show how you'd actually put it into practice. Think about the challenges young people from diverse backgrounds might face, and then outline strategies you would implement. Strategies to ensure that everyone feels seen and supported.
So concrete examples are key. For instance, instead of just saying implement anti-bullying policies, could you describe a specific program that you've developed or facilitated that actively promotes inclusivity?
Exactly. Imagine you say something like, I facilitated workshops on cultural sensitivity for both staff and youth, creating a dialogue that fosters understanding and respect. That paints a much clearer picture. And be ready for those follow-up questions like, how would you handle a situation where a young person reported feeling excluded or discriminated against?
Well, that's a tough one.
It is, but it's also a chance to shine. Detail your process for addressing such a report. Would you have a system for confidential reporting? You want to outline a step-by-step approach, emphasizing prompt investigation, clear communication with all parties, and taking appropriate action to ensure that it doesn't happen again.
Wow, you're really painting a picture here
Hmm.
of a prepared and proactive leader. So we've tackled questions about motivation and inclusivity. Now let's get into your experience. A common one is, describe your experience in program development and management for youth programs. How do we make those achievements really pop?
This is where you bring those successes to life. Don't just list programs you've designed or managed. Highlight their impact. Do they improve academic performance, boost self-esteem, or teach valuable life
Right,
skills?
numbers are powerful. Instead of just saying, I managed a summer program, you could say, the summer program I managed saw a 15% increase in youth engagement and a 10% improvement in conflict resolution skills based on those pre- and post-program surveys.
Exactly. And here's where RoleCatcher's AI can be a real game changer. It can help you analyze the specific job description and identify keywords or skills they're looking for. Then it can help you tailor your answer to highlight the most relevant achievements. It's like having a personalized coach, helping you craft the perfect pitch.
So it's not just about what you say, but how you say it,
Hmm.
tailored to the specific role. Okay, next question. How would you motivate and develop staff members to provide high-quality programming for young people?
Hmm.
This one feels like it's about leadership style.
It absolutely is. They want to see how you inspire a team, how you create an environment where everyone thrives. Are you a collaborative leader, a mentor, someone who empowers their team to take ownership? Share concrete examples of how you fostered staff growth in the past.
So instead of just saying, I provided regular feedback, you might say, I implemented a monthly professional development program for my team, allowing them to choose workshops that aligned with their individual goals.
Perfect. Show them that you value their growth, not just the bottom line. And think about those follow-up questions they might ask. What are your strategies for addressing underperformance within your team?
Okay, so you got to be prepared to talk about the tough stuff too, not just the sunshine and rainbows. How would you approach that?
Well, honesty and empathy are key. You can say something like, I believe in addressing underperformance through open communication and clear expectations. I would first seek to understand the root cause of the issue. Is it a lack of training, a personal challenge, or a mismatch in skills?
So it's about showing you're a problem solver, not just a disciplinarian. Next question. How would you assess the needs of young people in the community and develop programs to meet those needs? This one feels like it's all about understanding the community and being proactive.
It is. They want to see that you're not just going to guess what young people need, that you'll actively go out and find out. The RoleCatcher Guide highlights research surveys and collaborating with community partners.
So instead of just saying, I do a needs assessment, could you give specific examples of how you've gathered community input in the past?
Exactly. Share those real-world examples. Maybe you've facilitated youth focus groups, partnered with local schools to gather data, or even established a youth advisory board to get input directly from the young people themselves, showing that initiative and understanding of the community. That'll really set you apart. And remember, RoleCatcher's Copilot AI can also help you here.
Oh, right. How so?
Well before your interview, you can feed the AI information about the specific community, the community this youth center serves. It can then analyze that data, identify potential needs or challenges specific to that area, and suggest ways to weave that local knowledge into your responses. It's like having a research assistant that preps you with hyper-relevant insights.
Okay, that's passive. Talk about tailoring your answers. Now, this next question's a tough one, but it's bound to come up. Can you describe a time when you had to manage a difficult situation with a young person or group of young people? Everyone has these moments, right?
Absolutely. It's part of working with youth. The key here is to focus on de-escalation, clear communication, and what you learned from the experience. Choose a situation where you successfully navigated the challenge, highlighting those key skills, and be ready for follow-up questions.
Like, what are your strategies for preventing similar situations in the future?
Exactly. This is your chance to showcase those proactive measures, perhaps you'd say. I believe in establishing clear expectations and boundaries from the outset. I also prioritize building strong relationships with youth, creating an environment where they feel comfortable coming to me with issues, coming to me before they escalate.
So it's about prevention as much as reaction. That makes a lot of sense. Now let's talk about a topic that's always on a youth center manager's mind. Resources, or sometimes the lack thereof. The next question is, can you describe a time when you had to work with community partners to secure funding for a program?
The art of fundraising. This question is about highlighting your collaborative spirit and ability to build those strong partnerships. Think about a time when you successfully secured funding. Did you write a compelling grant proposal? Organize a community fundraising event? Share the steps you took and how those partnerships made all the difference.
Right. And did you have to get creative or think outside the box to make it happen? Those details can make your experience come alive. Plus, I bet RoleCatcher's AI could help you research potential funding sources in the community.
You bet. You could feed in information about the center and its programs. And it might suggest local businesses, foundations, or even government grants that align with their mission. It's like having a personal grant writer who knows the community inside and out.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, here's another question that tests your ability to handle those high-pressure moments. Can you describe a time when you had to manage a team in a crisis situation?
Crisis management. That's essential in this role. They want to see that you can stay calm, make sound decisions, and prioritize everyone's safety. Think about a time you faced a crisis, maybe a medical emergency, a security breach, or even a natural disaster. How did you handle communication and delegate tasks to ensure everyone was safe?
And I imagine they'd want to know how you maintain composure and that clear-headedness during the chaos.
Definitely. You might say, I made sure to communicate clearly and calmly with my team, providing regular updates and ensuring everyone understood their roles and responsibilities. Highlight how you took charge, kept the situation from spiraling, and ultimately learned from the whole experience.
Okay, next up is a question that really lets you showcase your creativity and initiative. Can you describe a time when you had to create and implement a new program from scratch? This one feels exciting.
It is. Share a story that highlights your ability to identify a need, develop a plan, secure buy-in from your team, and bring that vision to life.
And don't shy away from talking about the challenges you faced along the way. Overcoming those obstacles shows resourcefulness and resilience.
Exactly. And here's another area where RoleCatcher's AI can be invaluable. Before your interview, feed it the Youth Center's website or any information about their existing programs. The AI might be able to identify gaps in their services or areas where they could expand their offerings, giving you tailored insights to weave into your response.
So it's about showcasing your program development skills
Mhm.
while also demonstrating you've done your homework on the specific center. It's brilliant. All right, final question for this section. It's a practical one, but don't underestimate its importance. Can you describe a time when you had to manage a budget for a youth program?
This is your chance to prove that you're fiscally responsible and can make tough decisions about resource allocation. Describe a time when you had to track expenses, make adjustments, and stay within budget. Highlight any creative solutions you implemented or challenges you overcame, like unexpected costs or funding cuts.
Right. Show them you're not afraid of spreadsheets and can make those tough choices while keeping the program running smoothly. And if you've used RoleCatcher's AI before, it might have even analyzed your past budgeting experience and provided tips on how to frame it in a way that resonates with employers.
That's the beauty of this tool. It can help you refine your message and highlight the aspects of your experience that are most valuable to potential employers. It's like having a personal PR agent who helps you present yourself in the best possible light.
Okay, so we've tackled some of the toughest interview questions, and we've seen how RoleCatcher's AI can be a secret weapon in crafting those standout answers. Before we move on to some broader career insights, let's take a quick breather.
Sounds good. We've covered a lot of ground already. But remember, this is just the beginning. There's so much more to explore. When it comes to building a fulfilling career as a youth center manager.
Okay, I'm feeling pretty energized after tackling all those interview questions. It's like we've already done a practice run. But RoleCatcher doesn't stop at interview prep. Their career guide lays out a path from entry level to management. And it's fascinating to see how the responsibilities and required skills like evolve over time.
It really highlights the importance of continuous learning in this field. You know, the world of youth development, it's constantly evolving. So staying current with the best practices, new research, and emerging trends, I mean, that's crucial for long-term success.
Yeah, it's like anything you're passionate about. You always want to be learning and growing. The guide also mentions certifications, like Certified Youth Worker or Certified Child and Youth Care Professional. Are those worth exploring?
They can absolutely give you a competitive edge. These certifications demonstrate a commitment to professional development and specialized knowledge. You know, it shows employers you're serious about this career path and that you've invested in honing your skills. Plus, the learning process itself can equip you with valuable tools and strategies.
That makes sense. It's not just about the letters after your name, but the knowledge and skills you gain along the way. Okay, back to those interview questions. We've got one that's all about navigating those tough interpersonal situations. It asks, can you describe a time when you had to manage a difficult situation with a young person or a group of young people?
Right. Remember, this question is less about the specific situation and more about how you handled it. Choose an experience where you successfully de-escalated conflict, helped the young person understand the consequences of their actions, and maybe even turned it into a learning opportunity.
Right. It's about showing you can maintain composure, communicate effectively, and turn a negative experience into a positive one.
Exactly. And be ready for that follow-up question they might ask. What strategies would you use to prevent similar situations from happening in the future?
Okay, so how do we showcase those proactive measures?
This is your chance to highlight your approach to creating a positive and supportive environment, maybe you'd say. I believe in establishing clear expectations and consequences from day one. I also prioritize open communication, creating a space where young people feel comfortable sharing their concerns, sharing before they escalate into bigger problems.
I like that. Shows you're thinking about the big picture, not just putting out fires. Now let's talk about resources. The next question asks, Can you describe a time when you had to work with community partners to secure funding for a program?
Right. This is all about highlighting your collaborative spirit and ability to build those win-win partnerships. Did you write a persuasive grant proposal? A proposal that resonated with a local foundation? Did you organize a community fundraising event that brought everyone together? Share the story, emphasizing the steps you took and how that collaboration made the difference.
And I bet RoleCatcher's AI could be a real asset here too. Couldn't it analyze data about the community and suggest potential partners or funding sources that align with the center's mission?
Absolutely. Imagine feeding it the center's program information and having it generate a list of potential collaborators. From local businesses to grant-making organizations, it's like having a network of connections at your fingertips.
Okay, let's shift to a question about leadership in those high-pressure situations.
Yeah.
Can you describe a time when you had to manage a team in a crisis situation? What kind of scenarios should we be prepared to discuss?
Think about times when you had to make quick decisions and guide your team effectively. It could be a medical emergency at the center, a security breach, or even a natural disaster that disrupts operations. The key is to showcase how you maintained composure, communicated clearly, and delegated tasks to ensure everyone's safety.
So it's not just about being a boss,
Yeah.
but being a leader who can instill confidence and keep a cool head when things get tough. And would they be looking for examples of how you learned from the experience?
Definitely. Reflecting on what went well, what could have been improved, and how you've grown as a leader, that demonstrates maturity and a commitment to continuous improvement. Maybe you implemented new safety protocols or communication strategies based on what you learned from that crisis.
That makes sense. It shows you're always striving to do better.
Okay.
You're ready to flex those creative muscles. The next question asks, can you describe a time when you had to create and implement a new program from scratch? This is our chance to shine as innovators.
It is. Share a story that highlights your ability to identify a need. Develop a concept, get buy-in from your team, and bring that program to life. Did you create a mentorship program for at-risk youth? A new arts program that filled a gap in your community?
And again, I'm thinking RoleCatcher's AI could provide some valuable insights here. If you feed it information about the center and its existing programs, could it help you brainstorm new program ideas? Ideas that align with their mission and community needs.
Absolutely. Imagine being able to say, I notice that the center is currently lacking in STEM programming. And based on my research in RoleCatcher's AI analysis, I believe there's a strong need for such programs in this community. Here's a program concept I developed. It shows you've gone the extra mile to understand the center's context.
Okay, this AI is seriously impressive. It's like having a whole team of advisors in your pocket. Now, final question for this round. Can you describe a time when you had to manage a budget for a youth program? It might not sound as glamorous as program development, but I know it's a crucial part of the job.
It absolutely is. They want to see that you can handle the financial side of things responsibly and make those tough decisions about resource allocation. Did you have to get creative to stretch a limited budget? Did you negotiate effectively with vendors to get the best deals, share your experiences, and highlight your ability to make those difficult choices while keeping the program running smoothly?
And if you've used RoleCatcher's AI before, it might have even analyzed your past budgeting experience and provided tips on how to present it in a way that resonates with employers.
Exactly. It can help you quantify your achievements, using specific numbers and metrics to demonstrate your impact. For example, instead of saying, I managed the program budget, you could say, I successfully managed a program budget of $50,000, implementing cost-saving measures that resulted in a 10% reduction in expenses without sacrificing program quality.
Wow, those numbers really paint a picture. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground on interview prep and career insights. But there's one more piece of the puzzle that we haven't discussed yet, networking.
Ah, yes, networking. It's often overlooked, but it's absolutely crucial in this field. Attending conferences, joining professional associations, and even connecting with people on LinkedIn. That can open up amazing opportunities.
So it's not just about adding lines to your CV, it's about building relationships with people who share your passion for youth development.
Exactly. Networking can help you learn from others, share your own experiences, and even find mentors who can guide you along your career path.
And who knows? Your next job opportunity could come from a conversation at a conference or a connection you made online.
You never know where those connections might lead. And here's a tip. Use RoleCatcher's AI to help you identify key people to connect with. You can feed it information about your career goals, and it can suggest conferences, organizations, or even specific individuals who are leaders in the field. leaders who might be valuable connections.
Okay, that's mind-blowing. It's like having a personal networking guru. So we've talked about interview, prep, career paths, certifications, and even the importance of networking. What else should we be thinking about as we prepare for this interview?
Well, I think it's important to remember that this isn't just about landing a job. It's about embarking on a journey to make a real difference in the lives of young people.
That's such a great point. It's about the passion, the commitment, the desire to make a positive impact.
Exactly. Let that passion shine through in your interview, and you'll be well on your way to landing this incredible opportunity.
Okay, I'm feeling inspired. But before we wrap up this deep dive, there's one question from the RoleCatcher guide that we haven't discussed yet. And it's a bit of a curveball. It asks about pedagogical methods. I'll be honest, I had to look that one up. Can you break it down for us?
Of course. Pedagogy is essentially the art and science of teaching, but in the context of a youth center manager, it's about how you approach learning and development in a holistic way. It's about understanding how young people learn best, what motivates them, and how to create engaging experiences that foster their growth.
So it's not just about planning activities. It's about being intentional with those activities to meet specific learning objectives.
Precisely. Every interaction, every program, every challenge can be a learning opportunity. Think about your own pedagogical approach. What are your go-to methods for engaging youth? How do you foster a love of learning? How do you create a space where they feel safe to take risks and make mistakes?
Yeah, that's a really powerful way to look at it. So when you're prepping for your interview, reflect on your own pedagogical approach.
Yeah.
What are your go-to methods for engaging youth? How do you foster a love of learning? How do you create a space where they feel safe to take risks and make mistakes?
Yeah, those are the kind of insights that will really impress the interviewer. They want to see that you're not just a manager, but an educator, a mentor, a guide, someone who's truly invested in helping young people thrive.
All right, so we've covered a ton of ground today, from those tricky interview questions to insightful career advice, and even the power of RoleCatcher's AI. Where do we go from here?
Well, I think the best way to solidify all this information is to put it into practice.
You mean like a mock interview using RoleCatcher's AI?
Exactly. Why not give it a try? You can practice answering those tough questions, get personalized feedback, and refine your delivery until you feel confident and prepared.
I love that idea. It's like having a dress rehearsal before the big performance.
Yeah.
I think our listeners are going to walk into that interview feeling like a rock star.
I think so too. Remember, you got this. You're passionate, you're prepared, and you're ready to make a real difference in the lives of young people.
Best of luck. We're rooting for you.